Yeah. Hi guys, good evening. In the last class, we are trying to understand what is result set and why we need to go for result set, how many types of result sets available, and what is concurrency of the result set. Yeah. So tell me what is result set and how to work with result set. Result set is used to store the data. When we execute any SQL query, we will get the data in the form of result set object. Result set object will maintain the data in the form of rows, and it is providing a cursor to point the rows. Always cursor will represent current row. Initially, when we get the result set object, that cursor will be available before first row. How to move the cursor to the next row? By calling the next method, we can move the cursor to the next row. If row is available, it will give true. If row is not available, it will give false value. Right. By default, result set cursor can be moved only in the forward direction. Can we move the cursor in the bidirectional? Yes, for that we need to go for second type of result set. How many types of result sets are available? There are three types of result sets available. What are the three types of result sets? One is forward only result set. Second one is case sensitive result set, and another one is case insensitive result set. Whenever we get a statement, con.create statement, what result set we are getting by default? What is the default result set we are getting? So whenever we create a statement object, with that statement, when we execute a query, we will get the result set. The default result set is called as forward only result set. That result set cursor can move only in the forward direction. How to make a result set as a bidirectional? To make the result set as a bidirectional, we can go for scroll sensitive or scroll insensitive. And how many types of concurrency is available for the result set? Two types of concurrency is available. One is a concurrency readable, another one is a concurrency updatable. What is the meaning of concurrency updatable? That means any data that you change in the result set, if you make any changes to the result set, that change will reflect in the database also. That is a concur updatable. What is the meaning of concur readable? Concur readable means reflection will not happen. Any change you make to the result set object, that change will not reflect in the database. If it is a concur updatable, that change will reflect in the database also. Yesterday, we got some problem with sensitive result set and insensitive result set. Sir, what is the actual meaning of sensitive result set and insensitive result set? That was very old topic. In the latest version of Java, it is not supporting. I will tell you what is the purpose and what is the why they have deprecated that. Now, here I have my database table. I have my database table. In the database table, there are some records available. Assume that 101 or 1 some Java 1000. Then next one 2 something like .NET and some price is available. And 3 there is another record available, something like Angular. Okay, 3000. Like this, there are several records available in database table. Now, from this database table, we are retrieving the data by using Java application. In the Java application, we are writing a query to execute that. So here I'm going to call statement.execute query. What is the return type we are getting? Result set object. We are getting the object as a result set object. Result set rs is equal to execute query. Whenever you get the result set, by default it is only forward direction, but I want to make it as a bidirectional. For that I can specify result set type as sensitive or insensitive. Now sensitive, insensitive, both result sets are bidirectional. Sensitive result set is also bidirectional. Insensitive result set also bidirectional. Sir, when both are bidirectional, what is the actual difference? Right. The actual difference is if your result set is sensitive, for example, understand that result set is sensitive. I retrieved this data at 5 p.m. Assume that I executed my query at 5 p.m. So at 5 p.m., my query got executed. I got the data from the database. Now data is available at the database table. Here I have a logic to print the data. I have a logic to print the data. Print result set data. I'm printing the data which is available in the result set object. Assume that this logic is going to execute at 5:02 p.m. 5:02 p.m. That means 2 seconds later, it is taking 1 minute of time to get that data. Whatever the data available in the table, that data coming from the database, it is storing in my Java memory, Java application buffer. It is going to store the data. Then I am writing a while loop to print this result set object data. Already I retrieved the data. Already I have retrieved the data from the database. That the data came from the database, data stored into my result set object. 5 o'clock my query got executed. At 5:02 p.m. my while loop is going to execute to print the data. But what happened here is, after fetching the data from the table at 5:01 p.m. record updated. Somebody updated the record at the database table. So when my query got executed at 5 o'clock, when my query got executed at 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock I retrieved the record from the database table. At 5:01 p.m. record is updated and I am going to print my data. Here, that's where it makes the difference of sensitive result set and insensitive result set. If your result set is a sensitive result set, before printing the data, always it will check our result set data matching with the database records or not. If our records are not matching with the database records, it will get the latest data from the database and it is going to print the data. That means for every row, it will compare with the database. This record is updated in the database or not. If this record is updated in the database, then we have to get the updated record. If the record is not updated in the database, print the existing record. That is the meaning of sensitive result set. Suppose if you go for the result set as a insensitive result set, I retrieved my records. The data is available in the result set object. My result set is a insensitive result set. 5 o'clock my query got executed. At 5:01 p.m. after just 1 second, record updated by another program in the database. But at 5:02, I'm printing the data. If this result set is insensitive, it will not bother about the database. Already we retrieved the data. Whatever the data is available in the result set object, same data will be printed without checking the database. So that is the difference between sensitive result set and insensitive result set. Are you guys able to understand? Sensitive result set means any changes that happened in the database table immediately will reflect in our Java application while we are getting the data from the result set. If your result set is insensitive result set, then what is the problem? It will not check that. Once you execute the query, you got the records from the database. Your data is already available in the result set object. Whatever the data is available in the result set object, same data will be printed on the console. It will not compare with the database. If it is a sensitive result set, come on guys. It is going to check with the database to retrieve the latest data. But now every result set that we are getting is a sensitive result set only. Earlier in the JDBC, people used to work with the 4 types of drivers. There is a concept: type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 driver, type 4 driver. There are 4 types of drivers available to communicate with the database. What is a driver? What is a driver? Driver is the one which is going to establish connection with the database. Driver is going to establish connection with the database. So JDBC will support for 4 types of drivers. Driver type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 driver, type 4 driver. Sir, currently we are registering one driver. This is which type of driver? The driver we are registering currently, it is type 4 driver. Whatever the driver we are using currently, that is type 4 driver. When you go for type 4 driver, every result set that we are getting by default acting as a sensitive result set. Earlier in the type 1 driver, type 2 driver, there is a difference. Sensitive result set and insensitive result set. But now type 1 driver, type 2 drivers are removed from Java 1.8 version. So those drivers are not supported by Java. They are very old and outdated drivers. So that is the reason yesterday when I use sensitive result set as well as insensitive result set, both results are getting the updated data from the database. Okay, that was a deprecated concept that a driver is not supported by Java anymore. If we want to work with the type 1 driver, then we need to install Java 1.7. We need to install Java 1.7. Why not with 1.8? Yes, the type 1 driver got removed from the Java 1.8 version. That's why it is not going to support. Now we are going to use type 4 driver in order to communicate with the database. What is the difference between those drivers also we are going to understand. Now we are using type 4 driver. Now, sir, how can we say that these sensitive, insensitive drivers are supporting by our databases or not? Okay. Now here, if you see here, database metadata we can get from once we get the database metadata. Is this database supporting for result set type of sensitive or not, insensitive or not? Like that, we can get that metadata information and we can check they are supported or not supported. Run as Java application. Run as Java application. Whatever the driver that we are using, is it currently supporting that sensitivity, insensitivity functionality or not? We can check that by using database metadata concept. Once our statement, prepared statement, callable statement completed, we are going to understand that metadata concept. Metadata means which version of database we are using, which driver we are using, what is the major version, what is minor version. In the metadata concept, we are going to learn that. So now, as we are using type 4 driver to communicate with the databases, we no need to bother about whether it is a sensitive result set or insensitive result set. Good. Fine. So we are able to create our result set object. If I don't pass result set type and concurrency, by default it will become only forward only result set. If it is only forward only result set, what is the problem? Always you need to move row by row. Suppose I want to get the 10th row directly. Is it possible? No. So we need to go for scrollable result set. Scrollable, bidirectional scrollable result sets we are going to get. How to get the particular row from the result set? What is the method we have? Absolute. Can I point my cursor directly to the last row? Last row is available. Once I point my cursor to the last row, can I come back to the previous? What is the method available? Previous method is available. What is the purpose of next method? Next method is used to move the cursor from one row to next row. One row to next row. What is the return type of next method? Boolean value. If row is present, it will give true. If row is not present, it will give false value. What is the return type of previous method? Previous method, same. Previous record available, then it will return true. If the previous record not available, it will return false value. Yeah, just make a note, guys. Sensitive result set and insensitive result set. Sensitive result set and what is the difference between sensitive result set and insensitive result set? What is the difference between sensitive result set and insensitive result set? What is the difference between sensitive result set and insensitive result set? What is the difference between sensitive result set and insensitive result set? Sensitive result set and insensitive result set. Sensitive and insensitive result sets both are bidirectional. sensitive and insensitive result sets both are bidirectional. Both are bidirectional. Sensitive and insensitive result sets both are bidirectional. Next point. The difference is sensitive result set always retrieves latest data from data. Sensitive result set will fetch. The difference is sensitive result set will fetch latest data from database. Sensitive result set will always fetch latest data from database. If any changes happen at the database. The difference is sensitive result set will always fetch latest data from the database if any change happened at the database table. If any change happened at the database table. The difference is sensitive result set always will fetch latest data from database table if any changes happened at the database table data. Insensitive result set will get the data from the database. Insensitive result set will fetch the data from database table. Insensitive result set will fetch the data from database table. Insensitive result set will fetch the data from database table, will store into result set object. Insensitive result set will fetch the data from database table and will store into result set object. And it will give data from result set object only. Insensitive result set will get the data from database table, will store into result set object, and it will give data from result set object only. It will not check for database. It will not check for database for updated data. It will not check with database for updated data. Insensitive result set will fetch the data from database table, will store into result set object, and it will give the data from the result set object only. It will not check with database table for updated data. So whenever our application is trying to print the data from the result set, if any change happened at the database table, sensitive result set will fetch the latest data. Insensitive result set will not fetch that latest data. Okay, good. We need to note. We need to use type 1 or type 2 drivers. We need to use type 1 and type 2 drivers. We need to use the type 1 and type 2 drivers to work with insensitive and sensitive result sets. We need to use type 1 and type 2 drivers to work with sensitive and insensitive result sets. Sensitive and insensitive result set. We need to use the type 1 and type 2 drivers to work with sensitive and insensitive result set. Next point, note. Our query should not contain star. Select a star. We should not write like that. We need to write always column names in the query. If I want to retrieve the data, when you are going for sensitive or insensitive records, right? sensitive or insensitive result set. Your query should not contain the star. You need to specify column names which you want to retrieve in the query. Our query should not contain star symbol. That is one rule. Our query should not contain star symbol. Our query should not contain star symbol. We need to use column names in the query. We need to use column names in the query. We need to use column names in the query. Yeah. Now, let me show you the difference. Guys, I'm taking result set dot scroll sensitive and conquer updatable. So here I'm writing class dot for name JDBC driver. This class I am loading. Connection I am getting. Result set type I am setting as a sensitive. Concurrency I am setting as a updatable. Here I am trying to execute my select query. Book ID, book name, book price from the books table. I'm executing that query. I'm getting the result set and I'm printing the data on the database. I'm printing the data on the console. While rs.next. What is the meaning of rs.next? To move the cursor. Now execute my Java application. In the while loop, I have a condition, enter one key. When we enter that key, then only it is going to print that row. It is just for waiting my program. My program will wait. It is trying to read some value. When I enter that value, then only it is going to proceed further. Instead of thread.sleep, I'm using system.in.read. It is trying to read some data. First record printed, second record printed, then third record printed. 3 records are printing. Then what I will do is, after my query got executed, I will get my result set object. Before printing the data on the console, I will make the changes to the database table and we will see is that result set getting the latest data or not. Clear, guys? Now let's go to our database table, MySQL. Connect with the database, show databases. I want to see what all the databases available. Yeah, show databases. Advanced Java database is available. Use that database. Select star from books. Select star from books. Execute it. So there are 3 records available: 101, 102, 103. Let me write one update query. Update books set book price is equal to some 2000. Book price is equal to 2000, where book underscore ID is equal to 103. 103. This is my update query, guys. This is my update query. First, let's execute select query. What is the price for 103 record? 6,500. Run this program. Run as a Java application. Run as Java application. It is waiting because I have written system.in.read. It is waiting for my enter. You press any key. If I press one key, one record, it is printing. Is it getting the printing is happening from the result set or it is getting from the database? Already it fetched from the database. Where is my data available now? In the result set. So first record printed, then second record printed, then third record printed. So what is the price we are getting for DevOps? 6,500 we are getting for the DevOps. Now right click, run as Java application. Now my application is executing. It is waiting. It is waiting. So query execution already completed. Data it has retrieved. Where is that data? Result set. Go to database, make a change, update books, set book price is equal to 2000, where ID is equal to 103. Let me update that. Book is updated. Let's do the commit also. Permanently I'm saving that data. Commit completed. Check the database table. What is the price available? 2000. Record is updated before select query, after select query, after select query. My application executed the query, it retrieved the data. When I executed select query through Java, Price is 6,500. After select query is executed, I updated the price in the database table. I committed that transaction. Now see here, first record Angular we got, second record React we got, third record DevOps we are getting. So what is the value we are getting here? 6,500. So is it latest data or is it old data? It is old data. Now fine. That means latest data coming or not coming? Not coming. What result set it is? Sensitive result set. What is the meaning of sensitive result set? It has to get the latest data. Let me do one thing. rs dot, there is a method called refresh row. What is the method, guys? Refresh row method is available. Now let us see the behavior. Let us see the behavior. Right click, run as Java application. Now, my 1 minute. Here I will give one simple SOP statement saying that query execution completed. Query execution completed. Data available in result set. That's it. Yeah. Right. Right click, run as Java application. See the console. So query execution completed, data present in the result set. First record printed, second record printed, third record printed. Now, when I execute this latest data, it has retrieved. Okay. Let me run once again. Right click, run as Java application. Query execution completed, data is available in the result set. We printed one record. Next, DevOps record is not printed. Let me set the price from 2,000 to 12,000. I'm setting the price as 12,000. Update this record. Update complete. Commit completed. Check the price of the DevOps. What is the price available now? 12,000. So data updated before executing the query, after executing the query, after executing the query. So React price is printing. What price it is printing now? 12,000. So is it getting the latest data or not? Yes. How it is getting the latest? Before it was not getting the latest data. Now it is getting the latest data. What change we have made in the code? Refresh row. What is the meaning of refresh row? Always it will compare result set row with the database row. If result set row, database row, both are not same, then what will happen? If my result set row, database row, both are not same, that means my result set is having price as 2,000. My database is having price as 12,000. When I executed refresh row, what happened? It identified that there is a difference. Boss, application executed query, it got the data. After application getting the data, database table got modified. For that, always before printing the row, I am calling refresh row method. When I call this refresh row method, what is happening now? What is happening now? It is comparing result set row with the database row. It identified that there is a difference. Application having old data, database is having latest data. So what this result set is doing? Getting the latest data, giving the latest data always. Always it is giving the latest data. So now do you understand what is a sensitive result set? Yes, come on guys. What is sensitive result set? Always it will compare current row with the database record. If both are not matching, it will get the latest data. Always it will give the latest data. There is an advantage, there is a disadvantage. What is the advantage? Always we will get the latest data. What is the disadvantage? Suppose my database table having 1 lakh records. 1 lakh times it has to compare the record with the database. Performance will be down. Are you guys getting my point? Suppose if I have 1 lakh records, I am calling while loop. If I have 1 lakh records, select star from table. Select star from table. 1 lakh records I have retrieved. 1 lakh records available in the result set object. I am executing while loop. How many times this while loop will be executed? 1 lakh times. 1 lakh times refresh row method will be called. 1 lakh times refresh row method will be called. When the refresh row method is called, what is happening? What is going to happen? It will compare every row available in the result set object with the database table. If it is matching, no problem. If it is not matching, get the latest data. That whether matched or not matched, comparison should happen, right? So suppose assume that I have 1 million records. Then, come on guys, what will happen? 1 million times it is going to compare our result set rows with the database rows. That is going to give performance issue. Are you guys clear? Good. Now, for example, let me make it as a insensitive result set. Let me make it as a insensitive result set. Let us see. Right click, run as Java application. I'm not going to change anything now. Just query execution got completed. Data is available in the result set. Already we fetched that data. Query executed. From database table, we got the data. Data available in the result set. First record, second record, third record. 12,000 price is printed. Now, second try. Right click, run as Java application. My query execution completed. Data is available in the result set. So earlier, what is the price of DevOps? 12,000. Now let me make it as 13,000. Make it as 13,000. Execute this query. Do the commit. Do the commit. Select star from books. What is the DevOps price now? 13,000. Price is available for DevOps. So price is updated before query execution, after query execution, after query execution. Now check it. First record, second record, third record. Latest data coming or not? Even though it is insensitive, we are getting the latest data. Why? The difference was there in the type 1, type 2 drivers. Later point of time, they removed that functionality. Now, if you want to see the actual behavior of the insensitive result set, we need to go for a type 1 driver. That type 1 driver removed from JDK 8. So I'm using JDK 8. In this version, that driver is not supported. Are you guys clear? Good. Yeah, make a note. Take this program. Just take this program. Here guys, what is the purpose of system.in.read? It will wait when we press any key, then it will continue. System.in.read. When you press enter, then it will continue. What is the purpose of refresh row? Always compare result set row with the database row. Sir, which topic is going in Oracle? Joins. Huh? Now we can say two, sensitive result set, forward only result set. That depends upon the driver you are using, not from 1.8. That depends upon the driver we are using. Actual, from the JDBC standpoint, there are three types of result set: forward only, sensitive, insensitive. If you use a type 1 driver, then you can go for all three types. If you go for type 4 driver, you can go for only two, forward and sensitive. Completed, guys? Make a note. When we use sensitive result set with refresh row, when we use sensitive result set with refresh row method, when we use sensitive result set with refresh row, when we use sensitive result set with refresh row, when we use sensitive result set with refresh row, always it will compare, always it will compare. When we use sensitive result set with refresh row, always it will compare, always it will compare result set row data with the database row, with the database table row. When we use sensitive result set with refresh row, always it will compare, always it will compare result set row data with the database table row data. Always it will compare result set row data with the database table row data. If it is not matching, if it is not matching, then it will get updated data from database. Then it will get, if it is not matching, then it will get updated data from database. When we use sensitive result set with refresh row, always it will compare result set row data with the database table row data. If it is not matching, it will fetch latest data from database table. From database table. Are you clear? Read that point. You understand the point? Yeah. With that process, what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage, guys? What is the advantage and what is the disadvantage? Advantage is latest data we will fetch. Disadvantage, performance issue. Yeah, make a note of that. With the above code, with the above code, with the above code, the advantage is, with the above code, with the above code, the advantage is application always will give latest data for user. With the above code, the advantage is application always will give latest data to user. With the above code, the advantage is application always will give latest data to user. Next point, if we have lakhs of records, 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 it will decrease performance of the application. If we have lakhs of records, it will decrease performance of the application because every row it has to compare. The disadvantage is if we have lakhs of records, then it will decrease performance of the application because it has to compare every row. Because it has to compare every row. It has to compare every row. Completed, guys? Yeah. Now, so can you quickly tell me what is result set? Why we need to work with result set? How many types of result sets available? What is the difference? And what are the methods available in the result set? Come on, fast. Result set is used to store the data which is given by SQL query. Result set will maintain the data in the form of rows. Cursor will be available. Always cursor will point to current row. Initially cursor will be available before first row. How to move the cursor to next row? By using next method. In the next position, if the row is available, true. If the row is not available, false. Correct. Now, by default, we will get the result set as which type? Forward only. We can move only in the forward direction. If I want in the bidirectional, sensitive or insensitive. What is the difference between sensitive and insensitive? Sensitive will always compare the latest row and will fetch the latest data. Insensitive will not fetch the latest data even though data is modified. And what is the result set concurrency? Read only and updatable. Read only result set means it will not take any updates for the data. Updatable means if you make any changes to the data, then that data will be reflected in the database also. Okay. Can you tell me what are the methods we have seen in the result set? Can I say Boolean next method? Yeah. What is the purpose of Boolean next method? To move cursor to next position. To move cursor to next position. And what is the purpose of absolute method? What is the purpose of absolute method? Int row. What is the meaning of that? To move cursor to specific row. Specific row. What is the purpose of Boolean last? To move cursor to last row. To move cursor to last row. What is the purpose of previous method? Boolean previous. What is the purpose of this? To move cursor to previous row. To move the cursor to previous row. And next one, similarly we have get int method is available. What is the purpose of get int? To get the index value as a int. Once we got the records will be available in the row format. Row will maintain the index. Index will start from 1. Array index will start from 0. This result set index will start from 1. Get int of 1. What is the meaning of get int of 1? Get the current row first column value. Get int of index, get string, get double, get float, get object. Like that you can get the data by using this getter methods. We have getter methods here. We will get current row to get the current row column data. To get current row column data based on column index. Based on column index. Now here I'm getting 3 records. 3 rows will be available. I'm going to call here rs.absolute of 2. rs.absolute of 2. What is the meaning of rs.absolute of 2? Directly it will go to second row. Now I am going to call rs.getInt of 1. Then what I will get as output? What is the output? 2 is the output. That means second row first column data I want to retrieve. So second row first column is the ID. That's why I'm calling getInt method. Suppose if I want to get third row second column. Third row second column. Third row second column. Absolute of 3. Then rs dot get string. Why get string of 2? Second row is a name. That is a character data. So we need to go for string method. So based on the data type of the column, we need to call the methods. In order to get the data from the row, you can go for column index or you can go for column names also. You can go for column index and you can go for column names also. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes, perfect. Good. Next one. Guys, see here, I don't want this refresh row and all. I'm getting my result set object. I'm getting my result set object. Now, by using this result set object, I want to understand how many columns are available in the result set. How many rows available? How we will understand? While loop. We are going to write a loop. If a row is available, we will get the row data. If a row is not available, it will give false value. Now I want to understand what are the columns available, how many columns available in the record, each row, how many columns available, I want to get that. In order to get that data, here guys, we are going to use a concept called statement dot get result set statement, sorry, one second, rs dot get metadata. What we are getting? rs dot get metadata. System dot out dot println. I'm going to call metadata dot get column count. What is the method I'm calling, guys? Get column count. That means how many columns we have retrieved. How many columns we have retrieved. Run as Java application. Can you see the column count? How many columns we are getting? 3 columns we are getting. Why we are getting 3 columns? My query is having 3 columns, right? Right? Select book ID, book name, book price from books. How many columns I am retrieving? 3 columns I am retrieving. Now here, instead of writing like this, I want to get all the column names and I want to print only column names. Column count. Column count. Column count. Okay. Yes. Right click, run as Java application. So how many columns we are retrieving? 3 columns we are retrieving. Now let's go here. Metadata dot get column name. I want to get the column names also. What are the columns available in the records? What are the columns available in the records? I want to get that. How many columns we are getting? 3 columns we are getting. So columns also will be available based on the indexes, right? I want to get those column names. For integer I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to column count, I less than or equal to column count, comma I plus plus. Now I want to get system dot println metadata dot get column name of that I. So what I am trying to do now? First I am executing my query by using result set. For this result set, I am getting a result set metadata. Using the result set metadata, I am getting the column count. How many columns are there? And I am getting the column names also. Right click, run as Java application. Okay. Are we able to get only column names? Which columns we are retrieving? Book ID we are retrieving. Book name we are retrieving. Book price we are retrieving. Once we get the column name, based on the column name, can I get the column data also? Come on guys, here get int method is available. What is the purpose of get int method? To get the data based on the column index. Similarly, can I go for column name also? Yes. Get int of column name. You can get the column data based on the index, based on the column name also. Now I got the column name. Based on the column name, I want to get the data, right? Metadata dot get column name of I. Okay, it is going to give me column name. System dot out dot println rs dot get int of column name. Can I get like this? Yes or no? So that means we can get the data based on the column index, based on the column name also. If I want to get like this, you need to again move the cursor. Where the cursor will be available? Before first row. Then what we need to do? We need to move the cursor to the next position. Like that we can do it, right? Yeah, let's make a note. Using result set, we can access result set metadata. Using result set, we can access result set metadata. Using result set, we can access result set metadata. Using result set object, we can access result set metadata. By using result set, we can get the result set metadata. Using result set metadata, we can get columns count and columns names also. Using that result set metadata, we can get columns count and columns names also. We can get the columns count and columns names also. You can get the columns count and columns names also. Yeah, take this code, just this piece of code. Result set metadata. That means we can access all the information of the result set by using that result set metadata. We can access all the information of the result set by using that result set metadata. Column names, column count, we can access. Take the result set object. From result set, you can get the metadata. From the metadata, you can get the column count and you can get the column names also based on the column index. Column index will start from 1. Column index will start from 1. Note, result set column index will start from 1. Note, result set column index will start from 1. Result set column index will start from 1. Result set column index will start from 1. Completed? Yeah. Next one, guys. So next topic that we are going to learn, that is prepared statement. What is the next one? Prepared statement. What is the purpose of statement? What is the purpose of statement? Statement is used to execute queries. What type of queries? SQL queries, both DML and DQL. That means non-select queries and select queries both can be executed by using statement. Same thing can be executed by prepared statement also. Statement is used to execute SQL queries. Prepared statement also is used to execute SQL queries. Sir, then why two concepts available to execute SQL queries? What is the difference? Prepared statement will support dynamic values for the query. Able to understand now? You are trying to read the data from keyboard to insert a record. How you prepared that query? String concatenation. Am I right? So now here I want to insert the record into table. Insert into books values. So what we need to specify here? I need to specify some 101 and I need to specify some Java and some price I want to specify. So here I am hard coding the value for my query. I'm hard coding the value for the query. When you go for prepared statement, you no need to write the query like this. Why? Because today I am inserting 101 with Java. Tomorrow I want to insert Python. I want to insert Angular, React. Query is not going to change, but only my values are going to change. When your values are going to change for the query, it is recommended to go for prepared statement. Okay, guys. When you want to execute a query with a static value, then you can go for statement. But when you want to execute the same query for multiple times with different values, then it is recommended to go for prepared statement. Now, here, from now, we should not write query like this. We are going to write a query like this. Insert into books values. First value, I don't know. Whatever the value user will give, that value I want to insert. First value, a question mark. Second value, question mark, because I don't know what value may give by user. Third value, I don't know. Like this, we are going to write a query. So these question marks we are writing in the query, these question marks are called as positional parameters. What are those called? Positional parameters. Why those positional parameters we are using is, when our query is having a positional parameter, we can set the value for that parameter in the runtime. When my program is executing, I want to insert a record. Hey user, enter the book ID. I will take from the user, I will set the book ID here. User, enter the book name. Whatever the requirement I have given for you, that requirement should be implemented by using prepared statement. Why? Because user registration will happen with the static data or dynamic data. Dynamic data. User login will happen with the static data or dynamic data. Dynamic data. Same query I want to execute for multiple users. If you go to Ashokite website, when you log in, for every user, same query will execute or a different query will execute. Same query will execute a different query. Same query only will execute. Now you are trying to create an account. You are going to register. Whenever you are going to register, you will enter some data. First name, last name, gender, mobile number. What about query? Query is same. Insert into user values. If you register, your value. If I register, my value. Query is the same. Just values are going to different. When in the application, when you are executing a same query with the multiple different values, for that we need to go for prepared statement. Now tell me, when to go for statement, when to go for prepared statement? If you want to execute any static query, then it is recommended to go for statement. When you want to execute a query with the dynamic values, then we need to go for prepared statement. How to deal with the dynamic values in the query? Positional parameter. What value we need to insert at that place will be decided in the runtime. Are you guys getting my point? Yes, let's write it. Prepared statement. Prepared statement is used to execute. Prepared statement is used to execute both select and non-select queries. Prepared statement is used to execute both select and non-select queries. Prepared statement is used to execute both select and non-select queries. Prepared statement will support for positional parameters in the query. Prepared statement will support for positional parameters in the query. Prepared statement is used to execute both select and non-select queries. Prepared statement will support for positional parameters in the query. Positional parameters in the query. Guys, positional parameter means keep a question mark. Question mark is called as a positional parameter. Positional parameters are used to pass dynamic values to the query in the runtime. I'm writing, note down, check it here. Positional parameters are used to supply dynamic values to query in the runtime. Prepared statement is used to execute both select and non-select queries. Prepared statement will support for positional parameters in the query. Positional parameter means a question mark. That question mark is used to represent dynamic value. When I am writing the query to insert the data, I don't know what data user will give. User will give some data in the keyboard, or user will give some data in the form. Whatever the data given by the user, that data I will set to the parameter and I will insert that. Positional parameters are used to supply dynamic values to query in the runtime. When we want to execute same query with different values, when we want to execute same query for multiple times, when we want to execute same query multiple times with the different values, then it is highly recommended to use prepared statement. Yeah, take that. Query without positional parameters, query with the positional parameters. Query without positional parameters and query with the positional parameters. Completed? Yeah. When to go for statement, when to go for prepared statement. Yeah, when your query is static, always the same query, same value, right? Then you will go for select star from books. Is there any difference if I go with the statement or prepared statement? No. Why? Same query. Select star from books. If I go for statement or prepared statement, same query will execute. For example, I want to insert the data. So when I want to insert the data, every time I will insert the same record, or every time I will insert a new record. Every time a new record will be inserted. Same query I want to execute with multiple different values. So when you want to execute same query with different values, then better to go for prepared statement. Why we need to go for prepared statement? It will support for positional parameter. What is the meaning of positional parameter? What is the meaning of positional parameter? We can set the values in the runtime dynamically. And another biggest advantage of going for positional parameter is to avoid SQL injection concept. What is the concept? SQL injection. But when you, not that injection, man. This is a SQL injection. So SQL injection concept will be used by hackers to hack our applications. Are you guys getting my point? Hackers will use SQL injection concept to hack our application. I will tell you simple scenario of SQL exception. Now I have a query. Select, simple example, a login functional. Observe carefully, guys, very important. Select star from users where username is equal to, I will do some typecasting, right? So we are going to do typecasting. Select star from users where username is equal to plus given username, and password is equal to, again, typecasting password. Like this, I'm going to write a query. If you go for statement, I want to supply username and password. So how I am passing the username and password? Concatenation. String concatenation I am passing. Select star from users where username is equal to given value. Assume that this is my method. Public string login, string username, comma, string password. I am getting the username and password from the end user login functionality. You enter the username and you enter the password. Now let me take it as a username and password. Now my query is like this. Select star from users where username is equal to given name and password is equal to given password. Suppose, for example, I have given username, name I have given as Ashok, password I have given as 123. Okay, that is my username and password. How this query will be prepared? Can you tell me now? How this query will be prepared? Can you tell me now? Select star from users where username is equal to Ashok and password is equal to 123. Yeah, no, it is a dynamic query only. Username, password, I'm adding to the query dynamically through concatenation. From where this name is coming? From end user. From where password coming from end user. Now, if you go for statement, you need to write a query like this. Yesterday you inserted a record. How you inserted a record? by taking the data from keyboard. Same like this, right? You will prepare a query. In that query, you will append the values by using concatenation. Are you getting my point or not? So I'm using concatenation. What is the meaning of concatenation? Combine the two strings. I'm combining the two strings. This is my query. Select a star from users where username is equal to given value and password is equal to given value. User entered in the login page, username is equal to Ashok, password is equal to 123. So this query will be converted to like this. Select a star from users where username is equal to, this is my concatenation appending original username and password is equal to original password. I'm appending. So here, when this query is executed, if record is available, it will get the record. If record is present, credentials are valid, login success. If record is not available, login fail, then it is not going to login for the user. Here, what hackers will do, you know, they will enter username with a double hyphen. As a hacker, I will enter username with the double hyphen. When I enter a username with the double hyphen, how my query will be prepared? No. Come and check, man. It is a concatenation. So when I give the username is equal to Ashok, what is happening here? Username is equal to Ashok. If I'm giving username is equal to Ashok double hyphen, username will become Ashok double hyphen. Now, query will be prepared Ashok double hyphen. That is the technique. Double hyphen is a comment in the SQL. That means I'm skipping the password check. If I know anybody username, I can log in because I am manipulating that query. So that is called SQL injection. So whenever you append the values to the SQL query through concatenation, easily hackers can hack your application. They can log in into your application. So now you have a Facebook. You will enter username and password. Suppose if a Facebook people write the query like this, username is equal to plus given username, password is equal to given password. If I know your username, I can log in into your account. Your password is not required for me. Why it is not required for me? I am hacking that query. How I am hacking that query? By giving double hyphen. When I give the double hyphen, what will happen? This piece I am commenting. So when the query is prepared, this piece will be commented. So my query is executing with only username. I know your username. I don't need your password. That is called SQL injection. If you prepare SQL queries like this, it is a danger. Hackers can easily hack your applications. Are you guys able to understand my point? Now, to avoid this problem, are we going to append the values in the query or we need to set the values in the runtime? We need to set the values in the runtime. How to set the values in the runtime? By using prepared statement with the help of positional parameter. This is the another biggest advantage of going for prepared statement. Now tell me, what is SQL injection? Keeping double hyphen. Huh? What is SQL injection? SQL injection means people can comment some piece of condition in your query by giving double hyphen. In the Java, double slash is comment. In the SQL, double hyphen is comment. Anybody who will give username is equal to Ashok some double hyphen, then what will happen? So your query will execute up to here only. This part will be commented. So select star from users where username is equal to given value. I know your username. Record will come. If record is present, we will allow the user to log in. We are not checking the password. So that's why we should not write our queries like this. We should not write our queries like this. Yeah, make a note. Make a note. By using prepared statement, we can avoid. By using prepared statement, we can avoid SQL injections. By using prepared statement, we can avoid SQL injections. By using prepared statement, we can avoid SQL injections, right? Make a note. We should not prepare a query with the concatenations like below. We should not prepare a query with the concatenation like below. We should not prepare a query with the concatenation like below. We should not prepare a query with the concatenation like below. Because SQL injection can happen. Because SQL injection can happen. Because SQL injection can happen. Yeah. Take this. You understand now what is SQL injection, guys? Users will give double hyphen so that the remaining conditions after that will be commented. They will not execute. Yeah, for this username, we need to give the single quotes like this, guys, because the value should be in the quotes, na? We will keep that in the single quote is required for that. After username is equal to a single quote, then name will be added, then and the password is equal to again a single quote is required. Then after password ending, it is a dynamic password, and here again single quote. So this is the query that we are going to write. The single quotes are for string value. When you are supplying, that string value should be in the quote. Then only it will consider as a string in the database. So now, whenever you are writing query with some values where conditions, going for statement is recommended or prepared statement is recommended? Prepared statement is recommended. Why prepared statement is recommended? Positional parameters. So we can supply the values to the query in the runtime instead of hard coding. So I have given you a task. How you implemented that task? This approach only, right? Yes or no? How you guys implemented the given task in login functionality, register functionality by using statement? For the task, whatever I have given, statement is recommended or prepared statement is recommended? Prepared statement is recommended. Why prepared statement is recommended? Registration will happen with multiple values. Login will happen with multiple values. Okay. Quickly, can we develop one example by using prepared statement? Yeah. Insert book. Okay. Yeah. Code is ready, guys. Variables are ready. Driver is ready. Connection is also ready. I need a query. Let me write it. Private static final string. Private static final string. My insert SQL. Yeah, tell me the query. I want to insert a record. Insert into books. Values. Values are parameters. How many values we want to supply? 3. Book ID, book name, and book price. For 3 values, I'm taking 3 question marks. We need to read them as question mark, or we need to read them as positional parameter. We need to read them as positional parameter. What is the index? 1. So first index represents book ID, second index represents book name, third index represents book price. Yeah. Now guys, observe, there is a small difference in the code. Last time, by using statement, we called execute update. Can you check the syntax of the method? Execute update method. What we are passing for execute update? What we are passing as the input for execute update method? Query. Query we are passing right now. Little change will be there in the coding, guys. Observe carefully. I have a driver. I got the connection. Now I need to create statement object, or I need to create prepared statement object. Which one? Prepared statement. Why? My query is having values or positional parameters? Positional parameters. Statement will support for positional parameters, or prepared statement will support for positional parameters? Prepared statement will support for positional parameters. Now see, con dot prepare statement. What is that, guys? Con dot prepare statement. Whenever we are creating a statement, directly we can create the statement. But when you are creating a prepared statement, you need to supply the query also, because it will verify the syntax of the query. We need to supply the query also as a parameter for prepared statement. But for statement creation, query will be supplied at the time of execute update. But when you go for a prepared statement, whenever you are preparing the statement, that time only you need to supply the query. Our query is a complete query, or our query is a partial, because it doesn't know what values it has to insert. Now it is going to return prepared statement object. Which object it is returning, guys? Prepared statement object. Earlier we used con dot create statement. When we use con dot create statement, insert query executed. When we use con dot statement, we got the statement object. But today we are going for prepared statement. We are getting prepared statement object. Now I want to execute it. PSTMT dot execute update. Do I need to pass the query? Already query I have given. Already I have given query. But does that query knows what values it has to insert? Does that query know which values it has to insert? No. We need to set the values for the query before executing that. PSTMT dot set inter index 1. First index represents the first parameter. What is the first parameter? ID. Book ID I am taking as a 104. This 104, can I read from the keyboard also? Can I read from the keyboard also? Yes. Next one, PSTMT dot set string to comma. I'm taking it as AWS. That is a course name. PSTMT dot set double price 3. I'm setting it as 3,500. That's it. That's it. Like this, we are going to write a query with the positional parameter. We will give the query to the prepare statement. Before executing the prepare statement, we need to set the values for the query. Is there any SQL injection possible? No. Why? We are not concatenating the values. What we are doing here, we are writing a query with the positional parameter. For the positional parameter, we are setting the values in the runtime. Guys, This positional parameter concept will be there in the Hibernate also. And when you go for Spring Data JPA also, positional parameters will be available. Not only for JDBC, in the upcoming framework classes also, this concept is required. Got it? Yes, right. Now let me execute my program. Select star from books. Yeah, 3 records are available. Here I am currently hard coding the value, but in the real time, are we going to hard code or we'll take from the web page? Are we going to hard code or we are going to take from the web page? We are going to take from the web page. Right click, this execute update. What it will return? What it will return? Count. System.out.println rows affected. Rows affected. It is giving the count. Right click, run as Java application. Loading the driver class, rows affected 1. Go to database, select the star from books. Can you see AWS record inserted? Inserted. With the statement also we are able to insert the record. With the prepare statement also we are able to insert the record. But which one is recommended? Prepared statement is recommended. Why prepared statement is recommended? Because we can supply the values for the query in the runtime using positional parameters. Able to follow this? Then when to go for statement? When to go for prepared statement? When I should go for statement? When I should go for prepared statement? If you have a query with static value, then go for statement. If you have a query which will execute multiple times with a different values, then we should go for prepared statement. User registration in the project. Statement or prepared statement? Statement or prepared statement? That confidence is not there. Statement or prepared statement? Prepared statement. Why prepared statement? Do you know which user is going to register? Thousands of users, lakhs of users will register. How many times our query will execute? So many times with a different value. Query is the same, but values are different. Then we need to go for prepared statement. What about user login functionality? Login functionality. Statement or prepared statement? Come on, man. Statement, huh? Why prepared statement? Again, login functionality also, different users will log in with the different credentials. Query is the same, but values are different. Now, I want to display all the online batches. Select a star from online courses. Statement or prepared statement? Anything is fine. There is no difference because my query is static. Select a star from books. I want to get all the books. If you go for statement or prepared statement, there is no difference. Why? Stand up. What is prepared statement? So gaya na? Bolo bhai. What is prepared statement? Huh? You need to recall your brain. Kitna time lagega? Is it with you only, right? Then am I singing a song? Then why are you sleeping? Sit down. Yeah. So fine, guys. I want to retrieve all the records from the table. When I want to retrieve all the records from the table, statement is recommended or prepared statement? Anything is fine. Anything is fine because my query does not have any value. When your query is taking some value, multiple values every time, different values, then go for prepared statement. Yeah, take this program. Query also you need to take, guys. That is also important here. Take this. Write down, man. Everybody having camera. Write down. Write down. Optional. Type 4 driver, it is optional. I will come to that point. How many ways we can load the driver? So can you implement the given assignment with prepared statement now? Yeah, that is recommended. Completed. Next note, when the query is having positional parameters, when the query is having positional parameter, when the query is having positional parameter, when the query is having positional parameter, we have to set the value. When the query is having positional parameter, when the query is having positional parameter, we have to set the value for those parameters. We have to set the values for those parameters before executing the query. When our query is having positional parameters, we have to set the value for those parameters before executing the query. That means if your query is having 3 positional parameters, you need to set the value for all the 3. For example, see here, I'm setting 105. Instead of AWS, I'm keeping it as a GCP. Query is having how many parameters? How many parameters I am setting? 2. Right click, run as Java application. See the output. What happened? No value specified per parameter 3. My query having 3 parameters, but I am setting the value for only 2 parameters. third parameter value missing. That's why query not executed. Are you guys clear? Fine. Next one. For example, assume that my query is having three. GCP I am giving, and the prepared statement dot set a double. Third one is a price. So I'm giving the price as 3,200. For example, I'm setting set int 4, something like this. I'm setting a fourth parameter, but query having how many parameters? 3. I'm setting the value for 4 parameters. Right. Check it. Run as Java application. Is it accepting? Parameter index out of range. 4 greater than number of parameters, which is 3. So prepared statement is intelligent. How many parameters are there in the query? Only for those parameters we have to set the value based on the index. Parameter index will start from 0. So here I have 3 parameters. This is first parameter, second parameter, and third parameter. So first parameter should be ID, second parameter should be name, third parameter should be price. Can you read the statement now? Last statement. When the query is having positional parameters, we have to set the value for those parameters before executing the query. Parameters we need to set before query execution, after query execution, before. Why? Yes, next point, note. If we don't set the values for positional parameters, if we don't set the values for positional parameters, if we don't set the values for positional parameters, then query execution will fail. If we don't set the value for positional parameter, then our query execution will fail. If we don't set the value for positional parameter, if we don't set the value for positional parameter, then our query execution will fail. Okay, fine. Next one. Can you guys do one task? Yeah, assignment. No. Write a develop JDBC application. Develop JDBC application to retrieve books based on given price. Develop JDBC application to retrieve books based on given price. Right? Develop JDBC application to retrieve books which are having price less than given price. Develop JDBC application to retrieve books which are having price less than given price. Okay. Ask user to enter the price. Ask user to enter the price in keyboard. Ask user to enter the price in keyboard. If user entered the price, then we have to fetch books which are having price less than user given price. Ask user to enter the price in keyboard. If user entered the price, then we have to fetch books which are having price less than user given price. If user don't enter price, then fetch all books and display. समझा? That is the task for today. Simple guys, see here in our website, batches are displaying, right? Whenever you come for online training, what batches are displaying? All the online batches are displaying. Suppose if I enter my name, then what is happening? Only my batch. That means the data is filtering or not. If I don't enter any name, all the online batches are coming. If I enter the name, that particular faculty batches are coming. So can I say it is a data filter? It is a data filter? Yes. So now can you read our requirement? Here website courses are there. In our database, books are available. So whenever you run the application should ask user to enter the price. If user enter the price, then you need to get the records which are having price less than given price. If user don't enter any price, simply you ask the user enter price. He did not enter anything. He simply clicked on enter. Then if a price is not given by the user, you need to fetch all the records available in the table. Understand my requirement? Yeah. Can anyone explain what is the requirement? What is my requirement, guys? If a user gives the price, get the records which are having price less than given price. If a user don't give any price, then we need to retrieve all the records from the table. You got the clarity, right? Yes. I want you to implement that by using prepared statement. Okay. Thank you, guys. With this, I'm stopping for today. We'll continue in tomorrow's session. Yeah, I will upload the notes, guys, online people. So tomorrow new Zoom link will be uploaded to the portal. If anybody not done the enrollment, please complete it. So tomorrow class will be there on the new Zoom link. Thank you, guys.